DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
It's time for Tuesday Night Live Chat with Brian S. Red and John Young. There it goes. It took a while for it to go live. I was wondering if it was something Ben Stowe did when he was, in that warm climate, and he was wishing us slow and cold.
Was he doing LDI right now?
No, he's actually down at the DJ Collective.
Oh, okay.
And what's one of the coolest things, and not that this is a direct correlation or a comparison, but Ben was saying that how much the Allentown experience, the mobile DJ meetup that we had, where it was that small, intimate gathering, and you could actually live life with other people for a couple of days. And he's like, I'm in that again. He goes, I'm getting spoiled. I went from Allentown, and now he goes, 2 weeks later, he's going to another one of those. And then, of course, you go to a big show like a DJ Expo where it's nothing like that whatsoever.
Right.
So
I think it's the way forward. I think it's the thing that people are going to enjoy and get a lot out of, opposed to these just overwhelming, loud things where you don't really know the guy who put it on. He doesn't know you. I don't know. I mean, have you ever? I mean, you probably do, but I don't know Vinny Testa. I've met him, but he does not know my name.
Yeah,
I guarantee you that any of the small shows I go to, they know who I am.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and it's a real friendly thing. I like that. It's more intimate, and I don't know. It's got a lot of value, I think. The smaller shows, I think, are really the way forward in the future.
I think you're right. Where you're going to have that smaller family gathering type of an event, and it's good to see. I'm glad they're having a good time down there, and it looks like they've got a nice little system that they're putting together. So good stuff. So thank you guys for being with us tonight out on the different channels this evening. We're coming to you, of course, from. Let's see, YouTube's up and everything, and there's a Facebook. Oh yeah, that Facebook's got about 20 people looking at it right now. So excellent. So good. Everything's going. If you have any questions or comments, the main chat room is our YouTube one, and I'm going to share that link in the comments section to all of those channels, so you guys can jump in and be part of the YouTube experience. If I can,
and like the YouTube video if you get a chance.
Yes,
it's kind of nice to do that.
That's it's a huge part of the whole YouTube experience. If you guys, again, didn't watch last Monday night when I went through and talked about hacking basically the second largest search engine, it was YouTube. It was talking about how to be, as a person who's creating YouTube videos, how to be more successful in what you're doing. And then as someone, those of us who do create, how someone like yourself who enjoy our content or anyone's content, what you can do to help those channels grow. And it's nothing financial. It's just some of the little things you can do that will help those channels to be more effective and give YouTube, for lack of a better way to describe it, permission to share and distribute the videos a little bit more. So
keeps them relevant in the search.
Exactly, so. And that's a huge thing. So Brian, tonight I want to talk about the title was "Is Dancing the Most Important Part of Your Event?" And we've talked a little bit about this on our show, but really what brought it back again was a combination of, at DJ Expo, Mike Walter did a seminar on the science behind, or why do people dance, or what have you, and he talked about people, multiple types of people, some that do dance, some that'll never dance, and some people that maybe will dance if the situation's right. And then last week, in Randy Bartlett's video, which those hit on Wednesday morning, you guys get to check those out, Randy talked about a common DJ failing is where we put all of our eggs, or all of our estimations or ideas of success on, my dance floor is full on night, I'm the greatest DJ in the world. And that's something you and I've talked about. So I figured we're going to spend some time talking about that tonight, because I think as a younger DJ, i.e. Michael, my son, who's 16 years old, he's getting into this, his idea with a successful event is, can I keep that dance floor full all night?
Yeah.
And I think that's I think that's kind of a slippery slope that won't get you the places you want to go. So let's kind of talk about that. What's your view when it comes to the events that you're doing in correlation to the success of the dance floor?
Well, in Michael's defense, I will say that I think ultimately we all kind of secretly want to see a full dance floor.
Oh,
We
certainly.
want to see people responding well to what we're doing. It's gratifying to us. Excuse me. But I guess, like you say, maybe it's wise to take a step back and realize that it's not really about us.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about our egos. It's about entertaining our audience who's in front of us. I've been to parties where the DJ is trying very hard to get people to come out and dance,
Mm-hmm.
but they're just not doing it. And it shows in the tracks that they're playing. So, they're playing songs that they feel like people could reasonably get up and dance to, and people are not dancing. So what the DJ thinks is, ooh, what I need to do is turn it up. Because if it's louder, they're going to come out and dance. No, they're going to leave the room at this point. That's how I kind of look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way what is the stuff in the chat?
It's a shout out to send a shout out to DJ UB Scene. Basically, they can go and they can in essence tip a person.
Oh hell no, we're getting tips now. That's awesome.
So yeah, that's
I
what
like
you're,
it.
that you're seeing. So
No, I know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know we get tips.
So
That's
yeah,
kinda nice. Anyway,
DJ UB Scene, thank you much for being with us tonight.
he likes it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm getting everybody in the chat giving tips. That's cool. So it totally threw me off. Now I'm happy. They're throwing money at us. I feel like a stripper. This is awesome. Do I need to show some skin here?
Not again. That last time you did that, remember what happened?
That didn't work out too well.
Oh, not so much. We had to,
I'm sorry. I'm way off track here. Where the hell was I?
we were talking about that success of the dance floor, and
So, okay, turn it up, because they're going to dance by turn it up, but I think what they do is chase people out of the room. I believe there's a point where you just kind of say to yourself, you know what? Maybe they don't want to dance. So instead of trying to strong arm them into doing it, maybe the thing to do is just play music they might enjoy. And it might not necessarily be a dance song.
mm-hmm.
It could be just, and those are the reasons that I feel like it's so important to, I guess, share all of this music with everyone. Even if it's something you don't feel like your crowd's going to dance to, it may be relevant. If it's a good song, I think we should know about it. If it's a song that a certain generation likes, or if it's a song that you feel like, kind of helps resonate a certain memory from a generation, maybe you play that, even if it's not a dance track. Maybe that's the song to go to. So that's kind of how I look at it.
And I think we talked about the idea of creating that soundtrack for the event,
Mm-hmm.
so they can have that experience. I think that's something that, and maybe experience, maybe age, what have you, has helped us understand that. And that's a conversation I'm having with Michael as he's now starting to think about, okay, I'm kind of interested in doing weddings, getting into making that that bridge for next summer.
Right.
Okay, so if he's going to be making that, now he's going to have a different understanding. High school dances, I get it. The dance floor is full. If the kids,
well, yeah, most of the time that's what you want to do. Yeah.
but it's the well, even when he's performing and for DJs in Atlantic City, or when he'll be spinning in February, he's not there to get people to dance. It's really to create that that atmosphere.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely agreed.
Aha moment is really what I'm hoping he will, because it's always kind of fun to listen to his take on it. Obviously, he's got the same music I do, and he has listened to a lot of the same things I do. But then every once in a while, he'll put his twist on some of these songs. And it's like, oh, that was really cool. That was really, really cool.
Of course. Yeah, I think it's just kind of about playing to your audience, whether they're dancing or not. And as long as they're not sitting there with their arms folded, like this, staring at you, waiting for something to happen, you're usually in pretty good shape. If they're engaging each other in conversation and they're laughing and talking, and they're not leaving, I think we're doing our jobs.
And one of the areas, of course, when we're performing at a wedding or whatever, you'll have that one person who comes up there. And my kids have a name for that type of person, but they'll come up there and they're basically saying, well, you're not the dance floor. If you play this song, the dance floor is going to absolutely go crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's one of those situations that I've had this where, okay, we had a nice group on the dance floor who were enjoying a requested song from the bride, what have you. And you're looking around the room and you're reading the body language, and people are enjoying. They're not sitting there, as you say, with the arms folded. They're enjoying that moment, and yet you have that one person who comes up there. And it's like, how do you have that discussion with them and say, well, I'm looking at more than just these 10 people on the dance floor. How far do you go in discussing this, or do you do the smile and say, "Why, thank you for your input," and then you let them walk away?
Well, sometimes I'll humor them, and the reason it depends. I mean, okay, we don't know every damn thing. I think that I would even say 15, 20 years ago, I thought that I knew it all, and I knew better than anybody else there, because I was the professional DJ. But the truth be told, I don't. There are sometimes when someone requests something and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. But you know what? I'm going to take a chance, and it turns out the damn thing works. Mm-hmm. That's how we learn. And sometimes it bombs, but sometimes it works. Sometimes I'll say to them something to the effect of, I'm going to play it, but I'm going to need your support to come out on the dance floor and bring a friend. And, oh yeah, cool, I got you. And now you've made a friend, and they trust you, you trust them, and you see what happens. I did it last week when I was doing the yacht club. I got a request for a song I've never had before, and it didn't go over well, but it didn't clear my dance floor.
Ah, okay.
And I was surprised that it didn't clear my dance floor. And the song was Rupert Holmes' The Pina Colada song.
Okay.
I mean, have you ever had anybody? That's not even a dance song. It's the weirdest groove in the world to dance to.
But I've had what has happened, and this might have been where it came from, is the Jack Johnson, who did a version of it, and he's a coffee house.
I know who Jack Johnson is.
Yeah, he's a coffee house singer, for those who have no idea.
Yeah.
Because you and I have talked about this before. But that, for some reason, took off, and now I had that probably on 5 or 6 of my music request sheets from this past summer. If it was a younger, more of that coffee house type of a couple,
right,
they knew who that was, and that was the one. So I'm wondering if it wasn't something tied into that, where people were hearing that and thinking, that's a good song, and didn't realize.
Well, it was in Guardians of the Galaxy as well.
Yeah, there was there also.
Volume 1, I think it was in, when he was trying to get his Walkman back from the bad guys when he was in prison. I think that's what they were listening to on the headphones, was the Pina Colada song.
I think so, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's in pop culture, but I just never thought anybody would dance to it. They did. But even if they didn't dance to it, even if they didn't, maybe somebody out there was saying, hey, I like this tune. And that's okay. I think that's okay. I don't think we need to just dismiss everybody who we feel like isn't giving us a good dance request. I do use caution and try to use common sense when they ask for things that are completely inappropriate, that, won't work at the event. If I'm doing an event and everything's going fine and it's all kind of, non-threatening music, and somebody comes up and wants to hear, off the top of my head, I don't know, Two Live Crew, Me So Horny, maybe it's not the track to play.
Right.
Maybe we're not there. We would have to get somewhere near there before I would try to go there. Mm-hmm. But this is completely out of the wheelhouse where we live right now, so I'm not doing it. But within reason, I think we should probably listen to some of these requests and see where they go. And that's old DJ me talking. That's not young me. Young me would have said, hell no, I know better than everybody else. It's about the dancing, and that's what it's about, and nothing else. And if they're not dancing, you're a failure.
And I think we miss opportunities, and that's what you were referring to, is when we can take these chances and have that. We sometimes will hit on something that was an incredible opportunity that we would have never guessed at. And I
go back, I mean, just for fun, John, and in the room, I want you to participate in this as well. You don't have to say anything, but think back 8 or 9 years ago, the very first time someone came up to you and said, hey, could you play Toto's Africa? I mean, that happened for the first time to everybody in this chat.
Oh, yeah. At some point,
it happened. Well, I was like, why in the hell would you want to hear Toto's Africa? Why would you want to hear this? No one danced to it when it was new. Why would they dance to it now? Everybody here is in their 20s. What gives? Now it's like the new staple. I mean, it's on everybody's list. You play it, and it's an old song. But if you go back, like I say, 7-8 years ago, people weren't playing it. I mean, and you may have dismissed that request if that's your attitude, where it's like, But I took a chance. I even have the video when I did it.
Sure.
And I was working with this cat, DJ Rico. It was after my stroke. He was roadieing for me that night. I was still not working by myself yet. And we were at, I think we were at like the War Memorial or the Art Museum or something. And I'm like, you're not going to believe this, but these people just asked for Toto's Africa. And they were serious. And I don't know. I'm going to try it. Let's see what happens. And I'm rolling the camera. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they're weird enough. Maybe this is a weird enough crowd for it. And sure enough, it was a big sing-along thing. And it was a success. From that day on, I never questioned it again.
Yep.
But that was that very first time. So, I don't know.
I was just kind of curious when you mentioned Africa, where it fell in the top 200 most requested songs that are being circulated out there with the online event planning systems.
Sure. Where is it? I'm curious.
75 is where it is on this particular one.
That's pretty good.
Considering, these are requests overall, so that includes all the first dance songs that are hot and getting requested, everything. So
that's pretty good. 75. We play at least 75 tracks at our mobile gigs.
Oh, it's certainly
right. A 6-hour gig, you're playing at least 75 songs. So totally, it gets played a lot. So I don't know
how things have changed over.
Well, how they do, and how. I really just don't think we should automatically just dismiss something just because we don't feel like it's going to work. Because I maybe it's that I don't care anymore, like I used to. I still care a lot, but if my dance floor clears because I played something that didn't work, to me it's not the end of the world anymore because I know that I can bring it back.
And again, they may leave the dance floor, but they might be sitting there over on the side of the dance floor with 4 of their friends singing along at the top of their lungs.
It could be. You don't know.
They could be, hustling over to be with someone to go and, up at the bar and singing, wanting to go over there. And it's like, oh, you remember? And they're engaging. And I think that's the part that a person has to add into their little repertoire of evaluation. Happy dance floor people is one part of the equation.
Right.
Happy people in the room is another part. The no arms folded is another part. And then the people who are openly engaging with the song, whether they're singing along or they're bebopping along with some friends and they're doing whatever, those are all little indicators that you're doing your job and doing it at a high level to keep people entertained. And that's ultimately what it's all about.
There's I think a lot of different things as a DJ you could be doing. One thing that I do recommend, and this is nothing I've ever verbalized, it's just things that I do. And now that I'm thinking about it, okay, fine. If you're doing a party, for instance, and you have a group of people on the dance floor, I don't know, a relatively sizable group on the dance floor, let's say a good quarter of your audience is out there, or maybe a third. They're having a great time, and you can keep pushing it, and you can keep pushing it, and you can keep pushing it, and you can keep, laying on songs in this same kind of realm you're working within, and keep the dance floor going if you'd like. Sometimes I think it's worth it to look and see who's not dancing, and see how they feel about the direction you're going.
So let's look at that. We have some people who aren't dancing. How far would you go to evaluate them? And again, this is something, if you guys get a chance to see Mike Walter going in and discussing this, he went really, really in depth, and it's really cool. But for those of us who haven't seen that, how far would you go to, you've got this table, they're not dancing. Do you is it a kind of watch and kind of get an idea? Do you go in and over there and engage them that way? What would you do?
Well, it depends on what they're doing at the table. If they're engaged in conversation and they're happy and everything's fine, leave them alone. They're good. They don't need you. They don't need you to be entertained. The people who you need to entertain are the people who are not engaged in conversation. Those are the people you need to engage or try to engage or get to engage each other with something like music on the dance floor. But what I was talking about with what I was getting at was, hypothetically, let's say that this is a I don't know. Let's say it's grandma's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just grandma. Okay, now grandma's got a lot of grandkids in their teens and their 20s, and they're into hip hop. All right, some new stuff.
Sure.
Okay, they're into the new stuff, and she's got a lot of grandkids, and you can play these songs, and the grandkids will be very happy, and they're dancing. But how does grandma's table feel about hearing this stuff for an extended period of time? Does that make sense to you?
Oh, certainly.
And how do the parents feel about this? So if they're like, yeah, God, not another one of these. Oh, well, the kids are happy, but oh my God, this is terrible. Maybe it might, you know what? I don't need to hear this anymore. It was fun. Happy birthday, Bertha. We're out of here. That could very well happen. So I feel like that it's important to, even though that you've got success on the dance floor, maybe it's not the end all for your evening. Maybe you need to see what else everybody is doing and where they're at, and how, you know, maybe they might feel about what you're playing, even if they're being polite about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this isn't something that they necessarily want to hear at loud volumes, and you should just switch it up anyway.
And you use the phrase the extended doing something for an extended period of time.
Yes,
and I think that's a huge little lesson, especially for newer DJs who are getting into this, is that you can do a lot, but and grandma will be there, and she will most likely be okay with the latest one from Flow Rider type of thing,
right? Or Cardi B or whatever. Just 2 or 3 of them done.
Yeah, in and out, and if you are segueing in a way that's appropriate, i.e., giving something that would be not as hard, and then maybe the harder, more rap Cardi B, and then something that's not quite as hard, but it's a transitioning out. These things can happen and work fine.
2 to 3 at the most. Or if you're going to do it, break it up. You can always play them later if you have to, but do something else. Even if your dance floor isn't as strong, but you get somebody else out there, do it. At these mixed events, where you've got a lot of different kinds of people there from different walks of life, I think it's important, to try to make this as homogenous as possible,
Yeah,
as family friendly as possible.
Exactly, to family friendly, and to really be that melting pot of different musical styles and tastes, and not sitting in any one genre too long that's going to alienate a different or a group of people.
On the flip side of things, if you've got the same party and the same demographic, and all you're doing is playing frat rock and 50s, then the kids are going to bail because they're bored.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give the kids something too. So it works both ways. It does. And this is the ideal time that I feel like we can look at these middle ground songs. And this is where they're so helpful. If we can find something that they can all kind of dig for one reason or another, maybe that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know, it depends on who your grandma is, I guess. But I mean, you could do all kinds of things that maybe everybody could kind of deal with. Maybe no one's in love with it, but they can all kind of deal with it. That's what radio stations do. That's what iHeartRadio and Clear Channel does. They don't care if you love the song. They only care if you don't change the channel. And sometimes that's what we need to do with these mobile gigs. It's just not make them change the channel. You don't have to be in love with it, but don't change the channel. And a good example of that might be Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling. It might be Pharrell's Happy. Hell, it might be Celebration by Kool and the Gang. It's just something that everybody can kind of deal with, depending on who the crowd is.
And I think that having those songs that everyone can deal with is a really valuable thing, because I can get grandma out on the floor, and I can get multiple generations. And that's where the memories are made. That's what people will talk. I got to dance with grandma. Did you know that last night I was dancing with grandma out there? We were out there doing it. It was a disco song. I don't remember what the song was, but the DJ got both of us out there, and we were having a great time because he played something that grandma loved, and it's like, I can.
Yeah.
Those memories are the things that people, that's why they go to these things, is to create these memories and these experiences, because they don't get many chances to dance with grandma or mom or dad to that factor.
The fun one for me is if I'm able to do a good solid set of songs that everyone's kind of dealing with, and then I go ahead and jump into something contemporary for the younger people. I'll just do it. I mean, and it won't be a gradual transition thing. I'll just do it because it just seemed like the thing to do for some reason. And Grandma stays, and Grandma dances to the new song with the kids, and the kids love that shit. But it's the same thing when you play the old song and they dance with Grandma. Grandma loves that shit. So it goes both ways. But you've got to find. I feel like you need to find that common ground before you can kind of bob and weave within these more extreme, I guess, generational type tracks. If that makes any jive, but back in the old days was perfect because it was big band, but it was obviously, redrummed and had a beat to it. So young people would do it, and old people would do it, and everybody would do it. It's very played out now. It's a 30-year-old song now, I think. But that was a really good example of one that just kind of brought everyone together for a minute. It was nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, certainly that it did at its time. And now, gosh, I haven't played that in years.
What about, there was another one that came out, I guess it was probably about 15 years ago. It was the remix of Elvis, A Little Less Conversation.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of fun for a minute. It kind of brought, an older generation out with the younger generation, and they all could kind of do it together. Those are fun ones when you can find them. And I do believe that Happy by Pharrell is that today because it's got that Curtis Mayfield kind of sound to it. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it's from the 70s. It's not threatening. Everybody knows it. Yeah, the young kids are going to, they're very done with it. And most people are. For some reason, I'm still fine with that song. I still actually like it. And would listen to it in my free time, but...
It can function.
Yeah. So there are tracks like that I think are good. And whenever they do, a remix of things that, becomes popular, that's always fun. They did that with some of the Jock Jam stuff.
Yeah, that was a really big one.
They did the redrum of... December 63, Frankie Valli. I think in the late 80s or early 90s.
Early 90s, I want to say, is when
early 90s
when they came out with the CD single is what I bought it on.
The Four Seasons.
Yep,
I got it on the DJ Tools.
Oh, yeah.
That's when I first got it. But yeah, now it's kind of even hard to try to find the original of that song.
Yeah. Everything is the newer or the even if you go to Apple Music and you start searching, it's like, oh wait, these are all these
the redrum. But that was a good one. I mean, that it doesn't seem like that far apart. I mean, it was less than 20 years apart, but 20 years meant something back then.
Yeah,
20 years was a long time. 20 years is nothing now because I could play you a song from 30 years ago, and I'd say, when did it come out? You wouldn't be able to guess 30 years ago or today. It's just hard to say sometimes.
Some are really, really difficult. Joe put up a good point here, and it's a great little discussion point. Joe, thank you for being with us tonight. Let's be truthful. You're paid big bucks to get people dancing. It's your report card. Everything else is just an excuse. There are events like that, no question about it, and there are couples, I think, that look at us and they, it's all about the success of the dance floor. If I would be using that as my sole report card from this past summer, I failed abysmally. There were many events that when I'm doing these outdoor tent weddings, there were very few people dancing. Yeah, there were times where the dance floor was full, but most of the time it wasn't. Most of the time the people were there doing other things, and we were creating that soundtrack for the other experiences around the 4 or 5 acres that the people were, engaging each other on. They were having a good time. We were doing what the bride and groom wanted in those situations. I think.
Well, here I'll be truthful with Joe. I don't know Joe. I don't know how old Joe is. I don't know anything about Joe. But I will tell you this, Joe. You will not get me dancing at a wedding. You will not get me dancing at a club. I'm a disabled person, okay? But I do love music. So there are people out there like me. Just because I'm not on the floor doesn't mean that I'm not digging what's happening. And if I am at something like, for instance, let's just say a class reunion, okay? Next year will be my 30-year class reunion. I'm not going, but it's happening next year. Mm-hmm. Do I want to spend my time on the dance floor, or do I want to spend my time catching up with the people who I haven't spoken to in 30 years? Now, in today's age with Facebook, if I haven't talked to you in 30 years or connect to you with you in 30 years, I don't really care to talk to you.
You're probably
That's why I'm not going to my reunion. But let's just say I were to go. Hypothetically, I were to go. How would I want to spend my time there? At a wedding, consider that not everybody lives next door to each other. Not everybody sees each other every week. They're coming in from all over the country. I mean, I have siblings. None of them live in the state I live in. When there's a wedding, we're seeing each other for the first time in a long time. And like at my daughter's wedding, last summer, my siblings were there. I hadn't seen them in a long time. And it's not like I had all week to catch up with them. I was doing father of the bride stuff. Certainly. I was a busy guy. And they're busy too, so they can't come in and stay the week. They're coming in Friday night, and they're going to the wedding on Saturday, and they're probably going home on Sunday. So I think that a little bit of empathy for our audience is important here when we think about our objectives. And it really depends on the type of events you're doing. Absolutely it does. It depends on your audience. If you cannot get them to dance because you're playing the wrong songs, that's one thing. But if they just don't want to do it, they're talking, they're engaged, leave them alone. Let them do what they're doing. Don't strong arm them to dance. If they're bored, yeah, do something. But otherwise, leave them alone.
Chris made a comment about when we were mentioning these weddings where the dance floor wasn't that big. He was asking if the bride and groom at the wedding party, if they were dancing or not, and how that if they're not dancing, it's really tough to get the dance floor hopping. I don't think in those situations it really mattered because you just exactly what Brian was saying. These were
busy.
They were busy. These
you
were
got people to talk to
coming from out of the area. There were people locally, like one gentleman this summer. He worked on a construction crew that is very, very popular around the area. So not only did he have his coworkers and a boss, and he's got some clients that he had a lot of people, and as he's making his rounds and doing his things, they knew going in that they weren't going to have time to do much dancing. That wasn't what they were after. They had basically said, hey, we want to have this sound so that we can talk, we can enjoy. And volume, it was probably one of my, I don't want to say the biggest selling point, but the volume was kind of a big selling point this summer with that multiple speakers to spread the sound out and not have it loud in any one spot for me. That worked well as that because people were like, wow, we can talk, we can engage, and that's what they were looking for, and that's a big part of it. So,
well, I'll tell you my experience at my daughter's wedding, and just to give you, I don't know, and this just seems to ring true with pretty much any event that I do. I was kind of playing host, and I think that's what Father of the Bride is supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, and it was weird for me. I mean, and I am not unique at all. I am very normal in this regard. My daughter's mother and I separated when she was 2. We get along fine. It's taken a long time to get there, but we get along fine. We don't talk smack about each other. We can sit and eat a meal together. We can even tell jokes back and forth. She's a Facebook friend of mine. Mm-hmm. She likes my posts sometimes, so we're okay there. But I haven't seen her family in a long time, and her family really liked me. And they're talking to me because that side of the family is there too. And I also have my immediate family, my siblings, which is pretty much all that's left on my side of the family. Talking to them, my nieces and nephews who are adults now. You know, I've said it a couple of times in this video today, but I'm an older guy. I'm not a kid. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I have adult nieces and nephews who have children of their own. I'm a great uncle. I'm a grandfather. I mean, it's just, this is real stuff. And I'm also talking to these new people I've never met before, mm-hmm. who are now my in-laws' family, my son-in-law's family, you know, and they don't know me, and they're really checking me out because they know my kid, and I know what I can read their minds, like, oh, that's where she gets that from. That's exactly what. We met the mom. It didn't make sense. Now we get it. Yeah. She's her father. This is who this kid is.
Yep.
So we totally get it. That was happening for most of the night. And it was hello to these people, and then it was goodbye to these people.
Oh, yes.
So you did it twice, you know? And my daughter's wedding was under 100 people. So it's not like it was this 200-person wedding. It was a relatively small event. And my daughter's friends that I've never met from college or whatever, or want to meet this guy that they've heard about, the dad.
Yeah.
And then there was a point after all of that, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling here, I really do apologize, but there was a point where everything had been done, everyone had met each other, we could dance, and we did. I mean, it was time, but it was later in the evening. It wasn't like, immediately or all night. There were waves of it. It was strong at first, then it was really quiet for a long time, and then at the end it was strong too. And I see a lot of my events like that, where they start strong, and then they fizzle, and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm going home early tonight,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. I'm staying all night because at 11 o'clock, they're good and liquored up. They don't have anything else to do, and they're ready to party, and they do. So we have this really strong closing hour, which is fun. You can blow all your great songs because you're not worried about holding them back for anything. And that happens a lot. In my experience, that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not looking at it through a young DJ's eyes. I'm not looking at it through this, I guess, how do I want to say it? I'm not trying to get vindicated for anything. I'm not trying to earn points for anything. I'm only trying to facilitate this event best I can.
Sure.
Now, whether it's to encourage them to dance because they're not doing anything else, or if it's to provide a soundtrack that not only has the proper volume, but it contains the proper music or some music that's appropriate for this, that's what I'm going to do. Because I don't believe it's all about dancing. I just don't. No, don't get me wrong. If somebody came to me and said, look, I'm having a party, and all I care about is everybody dancing, it's all I care about.
Mm-hmm.
I would really put forth that effort.
Oh, certainly. Certainly. There would be a completely different, maybe not completely different, but there would be a different song selection, because now we're looking for those dance floor bangers.
Yeah.
We would be pulling out pretty much, we'd be playing I Want a New Drug. We'd be playing Power of Love. We'd be playing,
of course, Heart and
Hip
Soul.
to Be Square. We'd be hitting all of the big hits. Because
the big ones.
This is something we really want that dance floor to be hopping, and there's nothing that quite gets a dance floor hopping.
Now, what I don't want Joe to get confused with is it's one thing to play the wrong songs for a crowd who wants to dance versus, playing music for people who don't really want to dance. There's a difference to that.
Oh, yeah. Very good point.
Don't get them confused, because it's easy to get them confused looking at it from our perspective. If they want to dance while we're playing the wrong songs, we're a failure. Absolutely. But if dancing isn't really high on their priority list that night, like mine wasn't, and play with something I can at least jam to. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to be blaring Build Me Up Buttercup, because I don't like that song. and I'm trying to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So maybe don't play that, at 130 decibels. That would be a bad thing to do. Maybe play something that I could kind of deal with at a volume that I can kind of deal with and make it background. And then when I'm getting ready, maybe I'll come out. And I did actually dance at my daughter's wedding because I was being polite. I wouldn't normally do it, though.
I saw the video.
Yeah, there's a video.
There was a video. People
who haven't known me for very long don't believe that I used to salsa. And if you've known me for a long time, you knew in the early videos that is something that I actually did. I did line clubs. Blanca and I was salsa. The people who have known me for, less than 8 years are like, no, you didn't. I was a dancer, dude. I was good. Mm. I even make cripple dancing look good. I just don't do it much because it's a lot of work.
Okay, we're going to kind of wrap up that part of our topic. Got some good discussion there. Thank you guys for chiming in on that. I wanted to spend our last few minutes, Brian, kind of talking. We're getting things ready for February. For those of you who do not know, we're going to be doing a DJ convention as part of the Photo Booth Expo. Photo Booth Expo is going to be in one part of the South Point Casino. That's where their seminar room is, and then you got to go down the hall and then up to the exhibit hall, and then you come back down the hall, and then you go up to our seminar room. So everything's going to be in this kind of one end of the casino. Then we're going to have, closer to the Photo Booth Expo side, we're going to have a chill room, the DJNTV chill room. And this has been kind of something, Brian, that you have been talking about and really putting some thought into what what we could do with this room.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who have no idea of what a chill room could be, I just wanted to kind of help describe this, because for those of you who are interested, in the description below is the DJNTV.com/tickets. You can get there, you can buy your tickets, promo codes there. There's the full pass, and then there's the exhibit only pass. Some people are going to be buying the exhibit only pass to get into that exhibit hall and check that out. And that's cool, because that pass will still get you into the chill room to hang out. So don't think that you've got to buy the big full pass if that's not your style. So I wanted to let's talk that chill room.
Yeah.
What will be different in that situation? What will they experience that they wouldn't experience in a different area?
Well, the purpose of the chill room is it serves a lot of purposes, I guess, and it's something that I've never seen anywhere else. I've gone to shows all over the place, and there's never been a designated area just to go to. If you don't want to do a structured event like a seminar or something, you can go to this chill room where there's no structure and you can network in there. I want it to be a place you can charge your phone. I want it to be a place you can get Wi-Fi if you need it. And you can even work on your laptop if need be. But you can also listen to some tunes at a low level. Just something chill, nothing crazy. Nobody's showing off in here. There's no need for that. And just relax and be able to talk to another DJ who happens to be in the room. It's just a gathering spot. It serves utility, and it also is a networking site. That's kind of what I'm envisioning.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted something relaxing. I don't want it something, I don't want that. I want something just kind of chill, relax. It's a place that you could go before you present if you wanted to. You could just go in there and relax if you'd like to. And talk and give your brain a break. Or it's a place you can go after you've seen somebody do a lecture or a seminar, and compare notes with your friends if you want to.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's that spot. And, whenever I go to Bubble Beat especially, I always try to find that spot. And years ago, it used to be the Bistro Bar. And it was never official. It was just somewhere that people would go. And then I did the DJ thing there that one time. And then I didn't want to do it anymore. And then that other guy decided he wanted to do it in this other bar across the way. And that's where the audience went. It all went over to this bar across the way, and it was loud, and you couldn't talk to anybody in there. So that chill spot was lost. Then when we moved to Tropicana, I kind of made it the patio.
Yeah.
And part of that was because, people like John and I live in the Midwest, and it's cold. And if we're going to be in Vegas in springtime when it's like 70 degrees or better, we'd like to be outside. So that's where I was spending my time, and I was talking to people. And this is kind of an official designated area to do this at this. I don't know the venue. I'm sure there are other places you could go, but this is just kind of like, I don't know, kind of the rendezvous. I'm thinking for everybody to go to. Where are they? Well, let's meet at the chill spot. Let's meet in the chill lounge. Let's just go there. There's room there. There's seats there, and I don't know. I think it's just kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's that connecting, to be able to connect with other people who are there, whether, as you were saying, after a seminar, we're going to debrief and talk a little bit, or, there's a seminar going on and it's like, I'm not interested in how to, fold hospital corners. That's the seminar that's going on right now. Let's go over here and we're going to talk about, how to fluff pillows.
Robin says it's like a coffee room, and I would disagree with that, because like the coffee break room is a place that you don't really want to go, but it's at work, and so you go there. You go get a coffee break. You'd rather go to the mall. You'd rather go to a bar. You'd rather go anywhere. Right. But it's better than your desk, so you go there. I want this to be a place people want to go. And what the vision I have in my head would be something kind of like an ultra lounge,
Mm-hmm.
minus the alcohol. The lights are cool. It's got a nice atmosphere. There's some nice music going on. It's like a big giant living room. Like if really, really, billionaire single guys, had a bachelor pad, it would be this place. Just this really cool chill area. That's what I'm envisioning in my head. So it serves utility, but it should also be kind of fun and a place people want to go.
Yeah, Robin, it will be that networking type room. But Howie mentioned earlier, this bring your own Starbucks. Yes, there are Starbucks.
I'll just have people bring me Starbucks.
If
you want to pay me for all the wonderful videos I've done for you over the years, venti mocha frappuccino. I like them dark.
Yep, Jason.
Just like my women. So. Okay, John.
I just saw what you did there.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, so it'll be kind of a fun little area to hang out, and yeah, there'll be time you can grab your Starbucks and bring that on in there and have a good evening. What's really kind of cool about it is some of you have been talking about this on social media, and now some of the different sponsors out there that are sponsors within the DJ industry are kind of hearing this and are like, I think we might want to be part of this, which is really kind of cool because that allows us to do more with these events. So the chill room is definitely something I've been having people asking more and more about for what we're going to be putting together. And I can see this year the chill room is going to be this. I can see where the chill room is going to be something probably 4 times the size next year, just because.
Well, I want to keep it chill.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that is one thing that I want to put my foot down on. I don't want this to get big.
Well, but the idea that there's people who just want to come in and have that hangout spot. That's what we're having.
We'll have multiple hangout spots.
Yeah, and we may have to go multiple rooms, what have you.
But I mean, like we were talking about earlier, John, the intimate thing is so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben recognizes how cool intimate is, and that's what I'm thinking about with this chill room. I don't want it to be this. You ever gone to a party like when you were younger and everybody's got a red Solo cup and there's like 1,000 people there and you have no idea who anybody is, and it's like, I don't want that. I want everybody to know who everybody is when they come in the door, and if they don't, they can meet them very quickly.
And that's
And, it's inclusive. Come join us at our table. We're talking about stupid wedding requests right now. Just the 8 of us. Come be number 9 and tell us where you're from and what your experience is with this. That's what I want in the chill lounge.
Yeah. That should be a lot of fun, and I think people will really
I
enjoy
think
that.
so. I hope so, because it was my idea, and if it sucks, then I'm to blame. I don't want it to suck. I want it to be cool.
Yeah, if it sucks, then you don't have to bring him Starbucks on day 2.
I want to underline the chill music thing, so I don't need a DJ going in there saying, wah, wah, wah. I don't want that. I'm chill. If I have to scream over the volume of the music that's being played, I'm going to hurt somebody.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we've talked about with this show is we're not going to have there will be some demo rooms, maybe not quite this year, but next year there's going to be some speaker demo rooms that are going on where they're separate from everything, where the speaker companies can do what they need to do to demonstrate. So you can go and hear what you want to hear instead of the sound fighting. But we get into the main exhibit hall. That's basically a quiet zone when it comes to music, because you just can't have that for an exhibit hall the size that we're working with. If we let music go in there, it would be worse than DJ Expo, which is kind of the standard of.
You guys have no self-control. There's a certain breed of DJs, and it's not everybody, but there's a certain type of DJ. You guys all know them. You've met them. They have to be the center of attention. And they have to DJ for you no matter where you are. No matter what show you go to, they're freaking there and they're DJing. Mm-hmm. And you just have to deal with them. I don't want them DJing in the chill lounge.
Yeah, there won't be.
You know who'd be a great DJ for the chill lounge? And he'll never come, but he'd be like the perfect guy. Brian K.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about him last week, but what Brian K did.
Yeah, is perfect.
At Sam Adams Pub was brilliant. And he had a music video going. It was background, levels were good, and it was music that everybody was like, this is kind of cool, but it wasn't anything that was encouraging you to jump off a cliff or, it was good. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't like front and center. It was background, and I like that. It was nice.
Yeah, that was a nice. It added to the situation. We weren't.
Yeah, big time. That's what I'd like to see in the chill lounge.
Yeah, we weren't dancing. We weren't doing anything. But
that style of DJing or programming would be nice.
Yeah, just enjoying our time together. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, excellent. If you guys are interested in joining us in February, The links are all in the description of the video. You can go down below there, go out to djntv.com/tickets. That takes you right to the portal. Use that promo code of DJNTV Show 2020, and that will get you the price, which right now is about 45% off from the full ticket price. Then coming up next week, Black Friday, we'll be talking about this in next week's show. We're going to be doing a special promotion next week for those who have a full ticket or full show pass. You guys are going to, if you're interested in being able to learn more from the show, you're going to want to make sure you take advantage of next Black Friday's deal, because it's going to be a great deal, saving a lot of money off part of the show. So that'll be talked about next week. We'll be releasing that information.
Would you mind terribly, John, if I took over for 5 minutes on something?
Yeah, certainly. Yep,
Yeah,
go ahead. We'll wrap up with we got about 5 minutes left. So
cool. Because I did a video today on Facebook. I didn't do it on YouTube. I've talked about this potential event that I may be doing next year. And if I do it, it'll be in May. It's a customer who met his wife crate digging. And they want to have an all-record wedding. So they want a DJ to show up with 2 turntables and some crates of records.
nice.
And DJ their wedding, right? And they have some records they'd like me to play, and then we've got to. There's logistics that need to be worked out on this. And I've got a few records, okay. And the stuff that I have, most of it is either things that I really love, or it's things from like maybe 25, 30 years ago and older. So going way back, it's really a pretty comprehensive collection of music, even for a wedding reception. There's stuff in there that you can play for all the music that you want to play from, like, I don't know, let's say 1993 and older. I think we're covered. I think we're good. Now, anything from 1993 and newer, I've got to really dig it to own it. And so I was thinking to myself, if I was putting crates together, right, pulling stuff off the shelves, oh yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. If I had to just buy a few contemporary tracks, and being the old guy, that's all relative, contemporary, meaning maybe, let's just say 2000 and up.
Okay.
What would those tracks be? If I could only buy 3, what would be the powerhouse tracks that I want to make sure that I had at the event, that A, were available on 12-inch or record, and B, I know the crowd would react positively to? What would those 3 tracks be? I thought it was an interesting question we could ask ourselves. If there were 3 really big powerhouse songs that we had to add, what would they be? I came up with a few. And I'm sure, John, you have a few that you could mention as well. Now, keep in mind, we already have all the Huey Lewis. We're good there. So we got to pick 3 tracks that are...
I got nothing. I'm done.
You got nothing?
I got nothing. You basically are...
No Huey Lewis. We've got Huey Lewis, and we don't need to get anything else.
Yeah, is there? Really? Do we need anything beyond that?
Well, I was thinking, when I talked about earlier, I'd love to have Happy by Pharrell. That would be a nice one to have. I would love to have some Pitbull. A lot of that's not available on record, though. Black Eyed Peas would be good.
Yeah, and I think that is you can find that on.
Yeah, they've got a greatest hits double LP you can buy. It's like $30, and it's like everything. It came out, right before you didn't hear about them anymore. And yeah, I don't know. 50 Cent in the Club. I mean, I've got that. Usher's Yeah would be good. And somebody mentioned, like, I think it was Victor Salazar said, yeah, I'd want to have the Cupid Shuffle.
Oh,
like,
sure.
well, I don't have the Cupid Shuffle, but I have 2 copies of the Cha Cha Slide that I do own on record. So I don't know. I just thought it was a fun exercise, to think, if I've got all the old stuff, and I know I have to have a few new songs, what would be the few new songs that I would bring and hunt down? That was how it was in the old days. We were our record collections. And I can remember fantasizing at gigs where I just didn't have tracks people were asking for, but I was still keeping a dance floor, thinking to myself, wow, would it be cool if I could just snap my fingers and have any song I wanted? And I live in that reality now. Yeah. I can have any song I want. I theoretically could plug my phone in to the mixing board, Google the damn thing, and play it off of YouTube if I had to, or Spotify or whatever. I mean, the technology exists. I think it makes our work less interesting sometimes, though, because we're not curating collections and we're not, we don't have these go-to songs that, we're able to, figure out, okay, well, I don't have this Led Zeppelin song they want, but maybe I can play this Def Leppard song or this AC/DC song and they'd be cool with that. And you do it and it turns out it works.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how it was in the old days.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and as an example, I went to Bruno Mars thinking it's like, okay, is there an album that has, a couple of his hits on it, which is how we used to buy the music. And he started looking through, and of course, on vinyl, on 24K Magic is on vinyl. And you look at that, and it's like, okay, so you have 24K Magic, you have Finesse, and... But, John, I think Joe's got a point here. If you're going to do Bruno Mars... Well, Joe didn't even say it. I saw it, I read it, and I thought it. If you're going to do Bruno Mars tune, you just do Uptown Funk. Yeah, that's the one you would need. Well, the problem is that everywhere that I'm seeing Uptown Funk on Amazon, just where I was looking here quickly,
sure,
unavailable. So this becomes one of those situations where
you go to Discogs and you buy it.
Either you buy Discogs, or it was one of the back when in the day is like we couldn't find that song. Well, do you have a song from whatever the band is? Well, I don't have that song, but I got something else. There was
it taught us to program.
Yeah, there was the day. So now we have 24K Magic. We have a copy of that on vinyl, and we like the song, and it's good, but it's not the big hit. So now we have to put this in with something that is that anchor of that set. Whereas Uptown Funk would have been the anchor of the set. Now
this becomes the co-star instead of the star.
Precisely. So yeah.
Or the opening act to whatever the song you're going to play. That's the big one.
Yeah, how things change. But yeah, I don't see Uptown Funk on vinyl here.
I'll show you real quick. They're right here. I was at my mom's digging through some of my old stuff, and I came across 3 records that I thought would be interesting to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know I had. They were most everything at my mother's house that I've got in crates, it's LPs, and it's just collector LPs. They're not like 12-inch singles and things, if that makes any sense. But I did notice a couple of 12-inch singles on the top. And this was the first one that I saw and I got very excited. It's Lil Jon with Get Low. Right?
Yeah.
And I thought, ooh, that would be good. So I bring it home and I'm checking it out. I've got a really fast merengue mix of Get Low. I've got one with Elephant Man rapping over it. And I've got an acapella and an instrumental. I don't believe I would want to do this at a wedding. This just doesn't feel right at a wedding. So I see this, I get excited, but it ain't the right version.
Yeah, that becomes an issue.
So next, I find that, and here's what we're talking about, these secondary songs. Where it's like, well, I don't have Uptown Funk, but I have 24K Magic. So theoretically, I don't really have Get Low by Lil Jon, but I have Ying Yang Twins, Salt Shaker. I got the radio edit on this.
Okay.
That would work. That would be a supplement like you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's an example of it. So there's a couple versions. There's a club version. There's a clean and dirty version on here. There's an instrumental and an acapella. So this is perfect. As long as you don't play the dirty version, it's perfect.
You just have to make sure, yes.
Yeah, as long as you don't do that. And then the one I found, and I was so worried it was a stupid remix. I was so worried about it. I brought it home, I listened to it. It's totally not. And it's the radio edit. And I'm so happy that I have this. I own this. Perfect for this type of thing we're talking about. 50 Cent in the Club, man. Right there. I'm so happy that I already own this and I don't have to find it. I probably wouldn't have looked for it. This would probably not be a song that I would have thought, hey, I need to find this song to do this wedding. But since I have it, you better believe I'd bring it with me.
Oh, certainly. And you can set
probably
it up.
Get played.
Yeah, you can set it up into the set in the appropriate spot and it'll go over well.
So, I don't know. For whatever it's worth, those were some things that I was excited about and wanted to share. Yeah. I didn't think it was worth a YouTube video, so I thought I'd burn some DJNTV time out.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a neat... what a flashback to those times of, okay, we want that track, but we can't get I Love Rock and Roll. It's not available on CD. Well,
but I got Crimson and Clover.
I've got Crimson and Clover.
And Joan Jett and the Black Heart. That's a jam.
Done dirt cheap because the only thing we could get was her Dirty Deeds.
Yes.
That's what we could get.
And I used to call it the Jedi mind trick. And when I was a young DJ, I describe it as that. Mm-hmm. It's like you're basically in the car business. We call it switching them into something else, you know, or flipping them into something else. But yeah, it was a Jedi mind trick. No, I don't have. I don't know. Whatever. I don't have Me So Horny, but I have Hall & Oates. Do you like that? And they would say yes, and they would dance to it. It's weird. Mm-hmm. I know I've told this story before, but it's completely appropriate to close this out. When you can switch people from one song to another, it's kind of a neat thing. I was doing this. It was a theme party at the casino, and the theme we came up with was we wanted to do an 80s prom theme.
Sure.
So if you didn't go to your prom in the 80s, this is your chance to go to prom. And we're going to treat this event like a prom. We're going to decorate. The music's going to be from the time period. You're going to dress in a prom dress. It's like a second chance prom kind of thing. So we're doing this at the casino, and it's in a bar at the casino that doesn't exist anymore. But just outside of the bar, it's all open. There's a big garage door that opens up, and you can, it's to the casino. And there are people walking around in the casino. And this dude walks in. This dude is probably about 6.5 feet tall. He's black. He's got sports gear on. He's got big gold chains on. He's got a gold grill in his mouth. And he's walking towards me. And he gets to me. And I don't remember specifically what he asked for, but it was something like a 2 Chainz song.
Okay.
And I looked at him and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. We're not doing that tonight. What are we doing? I said, well, we're doing like an 80s prom theme. Like, what's that? And I explained it to him. Well, it's like your second chance. It's coming to your prom, like it was the 1980s, and we're playing music from then. It's just kind of fun school dance kind of stuff from the 80s. You get that joint from Tiffany Only in My Dreams? I like that one. I'm like, yeah, sure. So he goes and he sits at the bar, and I cue it up. And I get on the microphone and I say, you're never going to believe who asked for this. And I play it. And dude goes out there and starts dancing to it. And every girl in the place goes and dances with this guy and surrounds him. It was the most beautiful thing. But yeah, I flipped him from 2 Chainz to... it was Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now. That's what it was. Okay. I flipped him from 2 Chainz to Tiffany, I Think We're Alone Now. That's what I did. It was one of my most successful flips of all time.
Funny.
It was good.
Excellent. I think we need to wrap up. Good.
Yeah, we
good.
I'm sorry.
Good chat tonight. No, we had some good topics and good discussion. Thank you guys for being with this evening. We had some fun in the chat room and talking about a lot of stuff. Once again, in the description of the video, there's all the links and things and the information you need for that. And we'll be back next week. Next Tuesday night is the Brian and Jay show. It will be.
Oh, that's right. We're bringing Jay in, aren't we?
Yeah, we're bringing Jay in. So I'm going to give you guys a warning right now. Jay Brannon, our good friend, will be with us, and as you well know, it's a little bit of chaos when Brian and Jay are together. So
I'll pay you this compliment, John. You controlled both of us very well last time.
Yeah, that was
us. Right under your thumb. We didn't go off topic or get weird.
We had a good discussion. There was a lot of good information. So we'll be back with that next Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. Put that on your calendar, and we will see you then. Good night, everybody.